Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, they tell you hard work guarantees success. They lie. The world isn't a meritocracy. It's a game rigged from the start where the rules are hidden and the players cheat. You've been playing by rules that don't exist, while others operate on a different level, a level they don't want you to reach. This isn't about effort. It's about understanding the unseen forces that shape your reality. It's about seeing the truth they desperately try to keep hidden, the truth that sets you free from their control. Your dedication is admirable. Your willingness to strive is commendable, but without the right knowledge, you're simply running in circles, burning energy for someone else's benefit. They profit from your ignorance, from your belief in the fairy tale they've carefully constructed. Break free. They celebrate the self-made man, but they never show you the network of connections, the lucky breaks, the inherited advantages that paved his way. They preach equality while silently reinforcing the existing power structures. They tell you to play fair while they manipulate the system from behind the scenes. This isn't cynicism, it's realism. It's about acknowledging the uncomfortable truths that most people are too afraid to confront. The world is a battlefield, and you're armed with a butter knife while your opponents wield swords. It's time to upgrade your arsenal. It's time to learn the real rules of the game. The system thrives on your naivete. It needs you to believe in the illusion of fairness so that you continue to contribute, continue to consume, continue to obey. They dangle the carrot of success just out of reach, keeping you motivated, keeping you compliant. But true success isn't about climbing their ladder. It's about building your own. It's about recognizing the inherent flaws in their design and creating a system that serves your own interests. This requires a fundamental shift in perspective, a willingness to question everything you've been taught, a readiness to embrace the uncomfortable realities that lie beneath the surface. They tell you to be a good person, to follow the rules, to be patient and wait your turn. But the good guys finish last. Nice guys get walked all over. Patience is a virtue, but inaction is a curse. The world rewards those who take what they want, those who are willing to bend the rules, those who understand that the only limits are the ones they impose on themselves. This isn't an endorsement of malice. It's an affirmation of self-preservation. It's about recognizing that in a world of predators, you must learn to hunt or be hunted. It's about developing the skills and the mindset necessary to navigate the treacherous landscape and emerge victorious. The truth is ugly, and most people prefer to remain blissfully ignorant. They cling to their illusions, their comforting narratives, their false sense of security. But ignorance is not bliss, it's vulnerability. It's a weakness that can be exploited, a blind spot that can be targeted. The path to true power lies in confronting the darkness, in embracing the uncomfortable truths, in seeing the world as it truly is, not as they want you to believe it is. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But the rewards are immeasurable: freedom, control, and the ability to shape your own destiny. They manipulate your emotions, playing on your fears, your insecurities, your desires. They use propaganda, misinformation, and carefully crafted narratives to control your thoughts and actions. They understand that the human mind is easily influenced, and they exploit this weakness to maintain their power. To break free from this manipulation, you must develop critical thinking skills, learn to question everything, and cultivate a healthy dose of skepticism. You must become immune to their propaganda, resistant to their influence, and unwavering in your pursuit of truth. This is not about paranoia, it's about awareness. It's about protecting yourself from those who seek to control you. The system is designed to keep you dependent, reliant on their institutions, their systems, their approval. They want you to believe that you need them, that you can't survive without them. But the truth is, you are more powerful than you realize. You have the potential to create your own opportunities, to build your own empire, to live life on your own terms. This requires self-reliance, resourcefulness, and a willingness to take risks. It's about breaking free from the shackles of dependency and embracing the freedom of self-determination. It's about becoming the master of your own destiny. They control the information, shaping the narrative, dictating what you see, what you hear, and what you believe. They understand that knowledge is power, and they hoard it jealously, keeping it out of your reach. To break free from their control, you must seek out alternative sources of information, challenge the mainstream narrative, and cultivate your own understanding of the world. This requires independent thought, critical analysis, and a willingness to question everything you've been taught. It's about becoming an informed and discerning citizen, capable of making your own judgments and forming your own opinions. It's about reclaiming your intellectual sovereignty. They promote conformity, discouraging individuality, suppressing dissent, and rewarding obedience. They want you to fit in, to follow the crowd, to accept their version of reality without question. But true greatness lies in embracing your uniqueness, in challenging the status quo, in daring to be different. This requires courage, conviction, and a willingness to stand up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. It's about breaking free from the constraints of conformity and expressing your authentic self. It's about becoming a leader, an innovator, a force for change in the world. The psychology of control extends beyond mere information and conformity. It delves into the very core of your being, targeting your deepest fears and desires. They understand that fear is a powerful motivator, and they use it to manipulate your behavior, keeping you in a constant state of anxiety and dependence. They create enemies, both real and imagined, to justify their actions and consolidate their power. They prey on your insecurities, exploiting your vulnerabilities and eroding your self-esteem. To resist this insidious form of control, you must confront your fears, challenge your anxieties, and cultivate a sense of inner peace and security. This requires self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and a willingness to face your demons. It's about breaking free from the chains of fear and reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. They exploit your desires, promising you happiness, success, and fulfillment if you only follow their rules, buy their products, and believe their lies. They create a culture of consumerism, where your worth is measured by what you own, not who you are. They bombard you with images of perfection, making you feel inadequate and incomplete. To resist this insidious form of control, you must question your desires, challenge your values, and cultivate a sense of inner contentment and fulfillment. This requires mindfulness, gratitude, and a willingness to reject the false promises of consumer culture. It's about breaking free from the trap of materialism and reclaiming your spiritual sovereignty. They manipulate your emotions, triggering your anger, your sadness, your joy, and your empathy to serve their own purposes. They use propaganda, misinformation, and emotional appeals to sway your opinions, influence your decisions, and control your behavior. They divide you along racial, ethnic, religious, and political lines, creating conflict and animosity to weaken your resistance. To resist this insidious form of control, you must understand your emotions, manage your reactions, and cultivate a sense of empathy and compassion for others. This requires emotional regulation, critical thinking, and a willingness to see the world from different perspectives. It's about breaking free from the manipulation of your emotions and reclaiming your psychological sovereignty. They undermine your trust in yourself, in others, and in the institutions that are supposed to protect you. They spread doubt, cynicism, and paranoia, making you feel isolated, vulnerable, and helpless. They corrupt the truth, distort reality, and create a climate of confusion and uncertainty. To resist this insidious form of control, you must cultivate your trust in yourself, in your intuition, and in your ability to discern the truth. This requires self-confidence, critical thinking, and a willingness to question everything. It's about breaking free from the web of deceit and reclaiming your epistemic sovereignty. The strategy for breaking free is multifaceted, demanding a complete overhaul of your perception and approach to the world. You must become a master of self-analysis, constantly scrutinizing your own motivations, biases, and vulnerabilities. You must learn to identify the patterns of manipulation, the subtle cues that betray the controller's agenda. You must develop a keen sense of discernment, able to distinguish truth from falsehood, reality from illusion. This requires constant vigilance, intellectual rigor, and a willingness to challenge your own assumptions. You must cultivate a network of like-minded individuals, people who share your values, your vision, and your commitment to freedom. This network will provide you with support, encouragement, and alternative perspectives, helping you to resist the pressures of conformity and isolation. It will also serve as a platform for collective action, allowing you to amplify your voice and challenge the controller's power. This requires collaboration, communication, and a willingness to work together for a common cause. You must reclaim your time, your attention, and your energy, refusing to be distracted by the endless stream of trivialities that consume the masses. You must prioritize your own goals, your own passions, and your own well-being, investing your resources in activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. This requires discipline, focus, and a willingness to say no to the demands of the controllers. It's about taking back control of your life and living it on your own terms. Finally, you must embrace the uncertainty, the ambiguity, and the complexity of the world, refusing to be seduced by the false promises of certainty and simplicity. You must accept that there are no easy answers, no quick fixes, and no guarantees of success. You must be prepared to face challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, learning from your mistakes and growing stronger from your experiences. This requires resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. It's about accepting the reality of the world and navigating it with courage, wisdom, and integrity. Consider a young man eager to climb the corporate ladder. He's been told the rules: be a team player, put in long hours, and always agree with your superiors. He diligently follows this script, sacrificing his personal life, neglecting his health, and suppressing his own ideas. He attends every meeting, volunteers for every extra task, and nods enthusiastically at every suggestion, no matter how absurd. He believes that this is the path to success, that if he just keeps playing the game, he will eventually be rewarded with a promotion, a raise, and the respect of his peers. But what he doesn't realize is that he's being used. His dedication is being exploited, his talents are being squandered, and his individuality is being crushed. He's become a cog in the machine, a disposable asset in the pursuit of profit. His superiors praise his loyalty, but they don't value his contributions. His colleagues envy his diligence, but they don't respect his opinions. He's trapped in a cycle of servitude, chasing a carrot that is always just out of reach. The corporation demands conformity, and the young man willingly complies, sacrificing his autonomy for the illusion of security. He fears rocking the boat, challenging the status quo, or expressing dissent. He believes that these actions will jeopardize his career, alienate his colleagues, and expose him to ridicule. So he remains silent, complicit in his own oppression, a prisoner of his own ambition. The company culture reinforces this dynamic, rewarding obedience and punishing independence. Those who dare to question authority, challenge assumptions, or offer alternative perspectives are marginalized, ostracized, or even terminated. The message is clear: conform or be cast out. And the young man, desperate to belong, to succeed, to be accepted, chooses conformity. He molds himself to fit the mold, suppressing his true self, sacrificing his integrity, and betraying his own values. He becomes a shell of a person, a hollow echo of his former self, driven by fear and motivated by greed. He may achieve some measure of success, climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth, and gaining recognition. But at what cost? He has lost his soul, his freedom, and his dignity. He has become a slave to the system, a puppet of the controllers, a victim of his own ambition. He exemplifies the subtle yet pervasive control that society exerts over individuals, shaping their thoughts, dictating their behaviors, and limiting their potential. This is not an isolated incident. It's a systemic pattern, a reflection of the underlying power dynamics that govern our world. It's a reminder that true success lies not in conforming to the expectations of others, but in cultivating your own authenticity, pursuing your own passions, and living your life on your own terms. The scenario highlights the danger of blindly accepting the narratives and structures imposed by those in power. It underscores the importance of critical thinking, independent judgment, and unwavering self-belief. Only by questioning the status quo, challenging the controllers, and reclaiming your own agency can you break free from the chains of conformity and realize your full potential. His compliance isn't celebrated in the long run. It is simply expected and then forgotten. His individuality is eroded. His ambition becomes a tool used against him. The corporation, much like society at large, benefits from his silence and his dedication to the prescribed path. His story becomes a cautionary tale about the cost of sacrificing oneself for the sake of external validation and superficial success. The young man's initial dreams and aspirations become twisted and distorted, leading him down a path of disillusionment and regret. He gradually loses sight of his original goals, becoming consumed by the day-to-day grind of corporate life. His creativity and passion wane as he focuses solely on pleasing his superiors and meeting their demands. This example is a common story of many people who end up trapped by the lies of society. The tragedy lies not just in the squandered potential, but in the insidious erosion of the spirit. The system doesn't overtly crush him, it subtly reshapes him, rewarding conformity and punishing dissent. He learns, often subconsciously, to prioritize external validation over internal fulfillment, to measure his worth by the standards of others, not by his own values. This is the trap, the allure of acceptance, the promise of security, and the subtle coercion that keeps you tethered to a life that isn't truly yours. Society crafts an illusion, a comforting narrative that promises success and happiness through adherence to its rules. It whispers of stability, security, and belonging, enticing you to surrender your individuality and embrace the collective identity. But behind this facade lies a system designed to exploit your labor, control your thoughts, and ultimately diminish your spirit. It preys on your insecurities, your fears, and your desire for validation, using them as leverage to keep you in line. The system benefits from your silence, from your compliance, and from your willingness to sacrifice your dreams for the sake of a comfortable existence. The trap is sprung when you begin to internalize the values and beliefs of the system, accepting them as your own. You start to believe that success is defined by material possessions, social status, and external approval. You become obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth, and gaining the respect of your peers. In this pursuit, you lose sight of your true passions, your authentic self, and your unique purpose in life. You become a cog in the machine, a mere instrument of the system's goals. The trap is reinforced by the constant barrage of propaganda that permeates society. Media, advertising, and popular culture all contribute to the illusion, reinforcing the values and beliefs of the system. You are bombarded with messages that promote conformity, consumerism, and the pursuit of external validation. These messages are designed to manipulate your desires, shape your perceptions, and control your behavior. The trap is further strengthened by the social pressure to conform. Those who deviate from the norm are often ostracized, ridiculed, or punished. This creates a climate of fear and self-censorship, discouraging individuals from expressing their true thoughts and feelings. People are afraid to challenge the status quo, to question authority, or to pursue their own unique path. The trap is difficult to escape because it is so deeply ingrained in our psyche. From a young age, we are conditioned to accept the rules and expectations of society. We are taught to obey authority, to respect tradition, and to conform to the norms of our culture. This conditioning creates a powerful force that resists change and innovation. To break free from the trap, you must first become aware of its existence. You must recognize that the values and beliefs you have been taught are not necessarily your own. You must question the assumptions that underlie your thinking and challenge the narratives that shape your perceptions. This requires a willingness to think critically, to be skeptical of authority, and to embrace your own individuality. You must also cultivate a strong sense of self-belief. You must trust your own intuition, follow your own passions, and pursue your own goals, regardless of what others may think. This requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to take risks. Breaking free from the trap is not easy. It requires a constant effort to resist the forces of conformity and control. It requires a willingness to challenge the status quo, to question authority, and to pursue your own authentic path. But the rewards are immense. By freeing yourself from the trap, you can unlock your full potential, discover your true purpose, and live a life that is truly your own. You will experience a sense of freedom, joy, and fulfillment that is impossible to achieve within the confines of the system. The path to liberation begins with awareness. Recognize the subtle ways in which society seeks to control you, to mold you into a compliant and predictable member of the collective. See through the illusions of security and belonging, and understand that true fulfillment lies not in conforming to the expectations of others, but in embracing your own unique potential. The trap is a carefully constructed system of incentives and disincentives, designed to keep you tethered to a life that is not truly yours. It promises security, stability, and acceptance, but at the cost of your individuality, your creativity, and your freedom. The key to escaping the trap is to develop a strong sense of self-awareness, to cultivate critical thinking skills, and to embrace the courage to pursue your own authentic path. This requires a willingness to question authority, to challenge the status quo, and to resist the pressures of conformity. It also requires a deep understanding of the psychological forces that keep people trapped, such as the fear of failure, the need for validation, and the desire for security. By understanding these forces, you can begin to develop strategies for overcoming them. The process of breaking free from the trap is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey of self-discovery and personal growth. It requires a constant effort to resist the forces of conformity and control, and to remain true to your own values and beliefs. It also requires a willingness to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to learn from your mistakes. The rewards of this journey are immeasurable. By freeing yourself from the trap, you can unlock your full potential, discover your true purpose, and live a life that is filled with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. You will become a force for positive change in the world, inspiring others to break free from their own limitations and to pursue their own dreams. The trap is designed to exploit your vulnerabilities, to prey on your fears, and to manipulate your desires. It whispers promises of success and happiness, but delivers only disillusionment and regret. The only way to escape this cycle is to cultivate a fierce sense of self-reliance, to develop your own internal compass, and to chart your own course through life. This requires a willingness to reject the conventional wisdom, to challenge the established norms, and to embrace the uncertainty that comes with forging your own path. The journey will not be easy, but it will be worth it. For in the end, the only life worth living is one that is lived on your own terms, according to your own values, and in pursuit of your own dreams. The trap is a subtle but pervasive force that shapes our lives in ways we often don't realize. It is the invisible hand that guides us towards conformity, the silent voice that whispers doubts in our ears, the insidious pressure that compels us to sacrifice our dreams for the sake of security. It is the collective weight of societal expectations, the unspoken rules of the game, the unspoken fear of stepping out of line. The trap is not a physical prison, but a mental one. It is built of beliefs, assumptions, and perceptions that we have internalized over a lifetime. It is reinforced by the media, by our families, by our friends, and by the very institutions that are supposed to serve us. The trap is designed to keep us small, to keep us compliant, and to keep us from realizing our full potential. It is a system of control that benefits those in power, while leaving the rest of us feeling trapped, disillusioned, and unfulfilled. To break free from the trap, we must first become aware of its existence. We must recognize the ways in which it is shaping our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. We must challenge the beliefs that are holding us back, and we must begin to cultivate a new vision of ourselves and of the world. This is not a passive process, but an active one. It requires courage, determination, and a willingness to take risks. It requires us to step outside of our comfort zones and to embrace the unknown. It requires us to question everything, to challenge authority, and to think for ourselves. The journey to freedom is not easy, but it is worth it. For in the end, the only way to truly live is to live authentically, to live according to our own values, and to pursue our own dreams. The trap is a carefully crafted illusion, designed to keep you enslaved to a system that does not serve your best interests. It promises rewards for conformity, but delivers only disappointment and unfulfillment. It preys on your fears, your insecurities, and your desire for validation, using them as leverage to control your thoughts and actions. The key to escaping this trap is to cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness, to develop your own internal compass, and to trust your own intuition. You must learn to see through the illusions, to resist the pressures of conformity, and to pursue your own unique path, regardless of what others may think. This requires courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to your own truth. But the rewards are immense. By freeing yourself from the trap, you can unlock your full potential, discover your true purpose, and live a life that is filled with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. The trap is a complex web of societal expectations, ingrained beliefs, and psychological manipulations that keeps individuals from realizing their full potential. It is a system that rewards conformity, punishes dissent, and promotes a narrow definition of success. The trap is not always obvious. It often operates subtly, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without our conscious awareness. To escape the trap, we must first understand its mechanisms. We must identify the specific beliefs, expectations, and pressures that are holding us back. We must challenge the narratives that society feeds us and develop our own independent perspective. We must cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and learn to trust our own intuition. Breaking free from the trap is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of self-discovery and personal growth. It requires a constant effort to resist the forces of conformity and control, and to remain true to our own values and beliefs. It also requires a willingness to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to learn from our mistakes. The rewards of this journey are immeasurable. By freeing ourselves from the trap, we can unlock our full potential, discover our true purpose, and live a life that is filled with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. We can become agents of change, inspiring others to break free from their own limitations and to create a more just and equitable world. The trap is a cleverly disguised cage, built from the bricks of societal expectations, the mortar of ingrained beliefs, and the bars of psychological manipulation. It is a system designed to keep you docile, compliant, and perpetually striving for a carrot that is always just out of reach. The trap preys on your innate desire for acceptance, security, and validation, using these needs as leverage to control your thoughts, actions, and ultimately, your destiny. To escape this insidious prison, you must first recognize its existence and understand its mechanisms. You must learn to see through the illusions, to question the narratives, and to challenge the assumptions that underpin your reality. This requires a radical shift in perspective, a willingness to embrace discomfort, and a fierce commitment to your own truth. The journey to freedom will not be easy. You will face resistance from those who benefit from your captivity, and you will encounter doubts and fears within yourself. But with courage, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in your own potential, you can break free from the trap and create a life that is truly your own. Remember, the key to unlocking your cage lies not in seeking external validation, but in cultivating internal strength. The power to shatter the trap lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. It requires a conscious decision to reject the pre-programmed narratives that have been fed to you since birth, to question the authority of institutions that claim to know what is best for you, and to cultivate an unshakable sense of self-reliance. Society wants you dependent, predictable, and easily managed. It benefits from your insecurities, your fears, and your desperate need for approval. To break free, you must become your own authority, your own source of validation, and your own guiding light. The path to self-mastery is not paved with comfort or convenience. It demands a willingness to confront your deepest fears, to challenge your limiting beliefs, and to embrace the unknown. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone, to take risks, and to learn from your mistakes. Along the way, you will encounter resistance from those who are invested in maintaining the status quo, from those who fear change, and from those who simply cannot comprehend your desire for something more. But you must not allow their negativity to derail you. Stay focused on your vision, surround yourself with supportive allies, and never lose sight of the potential that lies within you. The truth is not always pretty. It can be harsh, uncomfortable, and even painful, but it is also liberating. It allows you to see the world as it truly is, without the filters of illusion and delusion. And once you have seen the truth, you can never go back. You will be forever changed, forever empowered, and forever free. The world is full of distractions, temptations, and false promises. It is constantly bombarding you with messages designed to manipulate your desires, to exploit your weaknesses, and to keep you trapped in a cycle of consumption and dissatisfaction. To resist these forces, you must cultivate a sense of mindfulness, an awareness of your own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. You must learn to discern between what is truly valuable and what is merely fleeting pleasure. You must develop the ability to say no to the things that do not serve your highest purpose, and to focus your energy on the things that truly matter. This requires discipline, self-control, and an unwavering commitment to your own values. But the rewards are immeasurable. You will gain clarity, focus, and a sense of inner peace that cannot be found in external possessions or achievements. The journey to self-discovery is a lifelong process. It is not a destination to be reached, but a path to be walked. There will be times when you stumble, when you lose your way, and when you feel like giving up. But you must never lose faith in yourself. Remember why you started, remember what you are fighting for, and remember that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. The trap is not invincible. It is a fragile construct built on lies and deception. And with enough courage, awareness, and determination, you can shatter it into a million pieces. The power is within you. You simply have to choose to use it. Society fears the man who cannot be bought, cannot be intimidated, and cannot be controlled. Become that man. Shed the skin of the obedient, the compliant, the easily led. Embrace the discomfort of truth. Accept the responsibility of self-governance. You are not a sheep. You are not a cog in a machine. You are a sovereign individual capable of creating your own destiny. The world is waiting for you to awaken. It is waiting for you to rise up and claim your rightful place as a leader, an innovator, and a force for good. But first, you must silence the voices of doubt, the whispers of fear, and the echoes of societal programming. You must become the master of your own mind, the architect of your own reality, and the captain of your own soul. The path ahead will not be easy, but it will be worth it. For on the other side of the trap lies freedom, purpose, and a life lived on your own terms. So sever the ties, disconnect